It's all about your health, your wellness. Radio MD. RadioMD.com. Get healthier, get fit, eat better, have a richer quality of life. Health on the go. Staying well with Melanie Cole, MS.
Are you wondering if you're starting to go through perimenopause or menopause when you start experiencing those hot flashes or night sweats? Or can this just be a part of being a woman and getting a little bit older? My guest is complete women's health expert, Lorna Vanderhaeghe. Welcome to the show, Lorna. Let's speak a little bit about hot flashes, night sweats. We women are going through some of these things, but they're not always, they don't always mean menopause, do they?
Well, right, absolutely. Well, I think the first thing we have to understand is that when our ovaries take a much-needed rest at menopause, our adrenal glands are going to kick in and make our backup hormones for us. So it's not like we're devoid of hormones after our ovaries take a much-needed rest. We do have other places that make hormones in the body. And you're absolutely right. Not every symptom that we think of as menopause symptoms has anything to do with menopause. For example, if you're still getting regular periods and you start having night sweats, that could be due to the fact that your thyroid is low.
Really? So
yeah,
how do you even find out these things?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, the first thing when we're looking at thyroid, and thyroid is so important to balanced hormones. You know, women who have a low thyroid that's not being treated properly will have the never-ending menopause symptoms. You know, that's the aunt that comes to Christmas dinner 10 years later and she's still having hot flashes and night sweats. So when we go to the doctor, we have a TSH test done. And the problem is we want to make sure our TSH is in the right range. So we want our TSH to be below 2. And we have to ask the doctor because the normal range is quite broad. And so we want to make sure we're in the right range for no symptoms. And low thyroid is epidemic. We have, 30% of the population walking around that has yet to be diagnosed with low thyroid. And then we have another 23% of people already taking thyroid medications.
Okay, so if we've gotten that figured out, do you go on thyroid medications? Is this going to take care of the problem?
For some women, having thyroid medication at the right dose or getting their thyroid supported properly can make all the difference in how severe their menopause symptoms are. And, we think about hot flashes and night sweats as the only symptoms for menopause, but a lot of women get panic attacks and anxiety disorders. Some women develop menopausal arthritis and fibromyalgia. And, the list is quite long when it comes to menopause symptoms because what's going on in the body is our hormones are fluctuating. We're getting more inflammation because those hormones are all over the place. And the good news is we can fix all of this. We can get those hot flashes and night sweats under control. We can, get the body supported so that the other backup hormone systems work properly in the body. And we virtually have no symptoms at menopause, which is the goal.
Now, women hear about these natural remedies. They want to go out and get their black cohosh. And, what of these actually work? Which ones don't? And how much should we be taking?
Well, it's a good question. Well, black cohosh does work, but it takes 12 weeks to work. And so most of us give up because we're not going to wait around for 3 months for our hot flashes to start abating. So that's why I always tell women, if you're going to take a black cohosh formula, it should have sage in it. It should have Vitex, which is a herb that raises your progesterone levels naturally, some gamma-rhizinol and hesperidin and dong quai. And you want a combination of these things so that you get those hot flashes and night sweats under control. If you don't have hot flashes and night sweats and that's not your problem at menopause, then those herbs aren't going to solve the other issues. And what I tell women to do is support and love your adrenals because those adrenal glands help you deal with stress. And when your ovaries take a much-needed rest, they're going to kick in and make your hormones for you. And healthy adrenals are the difference between having no symptoms at menopause and having lots of symptoms. And there's lots of adrenal support herbs on the market today. You've got to de-stress, deep breathing exercises, say no, and start loving yourself at menopause because this is a time when it's all about you.
Okay, and what about some of the other things? If we're feeling these hot flashes and we find a complex that we can take, we've gotten our thyroid under control, or maybe it didn't need to be. We're turning the air conditioning on. We're pushing our blankets off. Do any of these kinds of things really help to shorten that flash as it's happening right there?
Oh, absolutely. Well, for example, the reason why I mentioned that if you're buying a complex for menopause, you want to make sure it has sage in it, is because sage has been found when it's taken in a 300 milligram dose to just kill those night sweats. So it's important you take that at bedtime. And I have a book called The Smart Woman's Guide to Hormones, which is basically a Bible on hormones. It talks about how to balance your hormones with natural remedies and with bioidentical hormones. But one of the over-the-counter herbs that is so fantastic for those night sweats to allow you to sleep through the night is sage, which will stop them cold.
Well, that's excellent to know. So sage, and yes, you have so many books, Lorna, and what an amazing women's health expert you are, A Smart Woman's Guide to Hormones. So give us a few other tips to stopping those hot flashes, right when they're happening, because I've seen them in my friend that was on tamoxifen, and they are alarming. I mean, just alarming.
Oh. And it is. And, if you're having 3 hot flashes a day, no big deal. But if you're having 20 and it's affecting your life and you're not sleeping at night, then that's not a good thing. We want women to be able to function and feel fine. So when we look at hot flashes and night sweats in particular, we have to understand we've got to get those adrenals working. So adrenal support herbs would include ashwagandha, rhodiola, suma, schisandra berry. That combination works very, very well. Deep breathing exercises. Funnily enough, they found that women who drank 8 ounces of cold water had their hot flashes cut by 25%, and women who walked 30 minutes a day briskly were able to cut their hot flashes in half. So that doesn't cost you anything. It's also good for your health. So, and a lot of it is because we're so afraid. We start to feel that hot flash come on, and some women get horrific anxiety when this happens. So then the next time we even feel the slightest bit of that feeling, we actually can intensify our hot flashes. So it's important that the second you feel that hot flash coming on, you drink a glass of cold water, you do deep breathing exercises, and some women do need bioidentical hormones. Not every woman's going to be able to get through menopause just using herbs and nutrients and diet and lifestyle changes.
Well, I do know that exercise can help reduce them, and I've seen that myself with my friend when we were on a very long walk. She didn't have any. And when she wasn't exercising at all, the hot flashes were fast and furious. And so you can try all of these things. And what about chewing sage when it comes? Would that work?
Well, sage tea is a great option, and sage is a herb. I've got a big sage plant in my garden, and I actually use sage in everything I cook now that I'm of that age. And I drink lots of tea with sage in it. So sage is a fantastic, ancient herb that was used for night sweats and sweating associated with menopause. And when you combine it with black cohosh and the other herbs I talked about, it does work very quickly to get those hot flashes and night sweats under control. And people can read more at my website, which is hormonehelp.com. So the word hormone and the word help, HELP.com. And when we look at dosing of these herbs, you want to take them morning and night. So you want to make sure you take a bedtime dose. And I always tell women, take a little bit of protein at bedtime, an egg, chicken breast, it's a little bit of protein, because if your blood sugar drops in the middle of the night, you'll often have more night sweats. So just simply having that dose of protein before you go to sleep also can help.
Wow, these are great tips. A dose of protein, the herb complexes, having your thyroid checked and making sure that you're at good hormone levels, deep breathing exercises, staying hydrated, exercising, all great advice from Lorna Vanderhaeghe. You can see more about her and her wonderful books, some of which are on here for free at healthyimmunity.com or hormonehelp.com. This is Melanie Cole for Radio MD. Stay well.